Welcome back. This video is about how to detect collisions between your player and another object. So, taking a quick look at what we have here, I have a player object. This is what we made in the previous video. Ignore that. It has a collider and it has a rigid body. We also have a big cube. This has been tagged as box. Note that I have a box tag and a floor tag. The floor is tagged as floor. The box is tagged as box. In order to make your own tags, what you do is go to the Add Tag menu. You click the little Start plus button, and you my tag, right? You give it a name, whatever. Once you click Save, it'll add it to the list. Once you've added it to the list, you then have to go back and assign it to the object. It does not automatically assign to the object. So you have to go back and put it on. So we have a cube that has a collider on it, and we have our player that has a collider and a rigid body. The rigid body is important because this is the brain behind detecting collisions. So without the rigid body, we basically don't know if collisions are happening. So this is important. Make sure you add this. So let's make our script. Let's add a new script. We'll call it colliding. Open that up. Okay, colliding. Okay, so we actually do not need any of these. So when we collide with an object, there are three kind of moments in a collision. There is the frame that you touch the object, come into contact. There are all of the frames that you are in contact with, and then there is the frame that you leave contact. So there's kind of three moments, and each of those moments has a separate event that is associated with them. And by event, I mean there is a function that is called behind the scenes that we can take advantage of. So in my script, if I want to do something the moment that I touch another object, I use the function OnCollisionEnter, right? You'll notice we have exit and stay. So OnCollisionEnter is the one that we want first. So when we enter into a collision, this is the function that gets called. The rigid body that is on our object calls this function. And this collision object is, this argument is filled in with whatever the object is that we have collided with. So what's cool here is I can do a little test, and I can say, let's print out the tag of the game object that we have collided with. So the collision object, let's look at its game object, and then let's print out its tag. So whenever I enter into a collision with something, I'm going to print out its tag. Let's go back and test this out. Play. So in my console, I touch the floor, so right? And then if I go forward and touch the box gets printed out. If I back away, touch it again, box can print it out again. So anytime I enter into a collision with another object, its tag gets printed out. So this is cool because now we can do stuff with this information. I'm going to comment out that line. So let's say I don't really care about the floor, but I do want to do something to the box when I collide with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say if the collision.gameObject.tag is equal to box, and this is in quotation marks because it's a string, because it's name. This is case sensitive. So if you did a capital B, do capital B here. And then there's little curly brackets. So whatever we want to happen, we're going to put in between these curly brackets. So what I want to do is I want to say, hey, when I touch you, I want to look at your renderer component, and I want to look at the material that is in your renderer and change the color of that material. So I'm going to say collision.gameObject. And I'm going to look at that renderer. So I'm going to say get component renderer. Note the slightly weird syntax here, angle brackets followed by parentheses. And then we say the material colors. we're going to set this equal to color dot, and then I have all of these options here, so maybe blue. So when I touch another game object, if its tag is equal to box, then I'm going to say, hey, box, look at this renderer. Change the materials color to blue. Let's save this. Go back. Hit play. So go forwards, touch the box, and it is blue. Very nice. What if I wanted to go back to white once I've backed away from it? So what's that? What's it called when we exit a collision with something? Well, it's that void on collision exit. So on collision exit. So we can do the exact same thing. So if the object that we're exiting collisions with is the box, game object dot tag equals box, then we will look at its renderer, get component, render, and we'll change its material.color to color.white. So we'll change it back to white. So when we touch it, we turn it blue, and when we leave, we turn it back to white. Hit play. Forwards, blue, white, blue, white. Okay. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to access and do things to other components, but this is just a quick example using the color.